So it just occurred to me, but what exactly are the advantages of having a tail? No other Dragoon has a tail, except for the one who literally fused with her dragon. So what's Mid's deal? Mid's Trustmaster reward is her heavy armor, which explains that her tail is actually a cutting-edge piece of technology. The armor also has decent stats, a significant jump damage passive, and when equipped onto Mid herself, gives her 500 attack. Because of the tail, no doubt. Her Super Trustmaster reward is a two-handed spear. Matching the strongest Super Trustmaster reward spear in the game, Mid's spear also has a super bird killer. Furthermore, when equipped onto Mid herself, she gets an extra 500 attack and a nice limit burst damage bonus. Onto her active abilities. Jump is jump, and can be awakened, but even then it's still jump. Fill Limit Burst does something, I'm sure. All my strength into these spears. It's an odd thing to say before you realize she's actually got 3 different spears. It also inflicts a 30% spear imperil, boosts her attack by 300%, strengthens the damage modifier of her base Limit Burst, and gives her team a strong double bird killer. Elemental Burst, Earth, gives Mid a massive 150% Earth amplification buff, though it can only be used once. Stone Gale deals Earth damage that chains with absolute mirror of equity, and lowers your enemy's wind and earth resistance by 130%. Geoforce Dive is an Earth Lock jump. You also have to spend an extra turn in the air. Last Lance chains a Budding Strike. Passives. But for Trustmaster reward or Super Trustmaster reward equipped, Mid gets a whopping 2000 attack. She's also got 6 strong killers, meets more than half the cap to jump damage, limit burst damage, and has a hefty limit burst gauge fill rate all around. You can even boost her jump damage further by raising her Jump Master passive. She can carry either 1 or 2 weapons, and regardless of what you'll pick, she meets the full chain cap bonus anyways. Her normal attack has been changed to attack, which deals damage and fills her limit burst gauge by 1/15. Not a very good ratio. At EX plus 2 she gets Warring Spirit. At EX plus 3 she gets 500 attack. Let's look at her limit burst. It deals earth damage, boosts her earth damage by 40%, her attack by 250%, and triggers the damage modifier for her Earth Lock jump. Time to change forms. Mid has a true Brave Shift, which has no limitations whatsoever. Onto her active abilities. Tornado Blast deals wind damage that chains with absolute mirror of equity, and inflicts a 130% wind imperil. Final Spin Shatter Dive imbues wind onto Mid, and then she leaps into the air. She'll spend an extra turn there before she lands. Armor of the Heavens, Lend Me Your Strength, can only be lent once per battle. It boosts Mid stats by 300%, gives her HP and MP regen, and triples the damage modifier of Tornado Blast. Passives. In this form, Mid loses a bit of her limit burst gauge fill rate. She also loses her potential dual-wielding preference, which also makes her lose the full chain limit cap. She still has half of it while single-wielding, but half isn't full, you know? In exchange, the Veritas armor does let her absorb wind damage, and gives her an extra 250 attack. It also gives her a bit more elemental resistance, though of course lowers Earth. Let's look at her limit burst. It boosts her wind damage by 40%, her attack by 250%, strengthens the damage modifier for wind jump, and activates a field effect that boosts your team's wind damage by 40%. Let's rank Brave abilities. Raising them just raises her damage. Both jumps are different elements anyways, but should ultimately be stronger than Tornado Blast. Time to make a damage rotation. Let's go with Earth first. On turn 1, cast Fill Limit Burst, and double cast Stone Gale. On turn 2, cast all my Strength into these spears, Elemental Burst, Earth, and Stone Gale. On turn 3, use her Limit Burst. On turn 4, cast Geoforce Dive. Spend a turn in the air, and land on turn 6. Then you wait for her cooldown buff to return. You can either jump or chain, depending on what you want to accomplish. The latter might be better if you need the Limit Burst crystals. Now to make a wind rotation. As might be expected, we'll use her Brave Shift. On turn 1, cast all my Strength into these spears, Fill Limit Burst, and Tornado Blast. On turn 2, use her Limit Burst. On turn 3, cast Final Spine Shatter Dive. Spend a turn in the air, and land on turn 5. While you wait to repeat the rotation, you can use her other grandest ability and weave that with Tornado Blast, as you wait for the Limit Burst crystals. Or you could just jump for better damage. So, EX2. Mid's EX plus 2 gives her an instant Limit Burst. This does let you speed up her rotation, and saves the grandest Limit Burst fill for later, though ultimately you still have to wait for her cooldown buff anyways. The Super Trustmaster reward is good too, boasting the best bird killer, matching the best Super Trustmaster reward spears, and is great for Mid. Still, with that being said, it's all mostly for Mid anyways, as there's little additional use unless you want to rush her limit burst. EX plus 3 is just stats. And expensive. So how good is mid? Despite having a base attack at the same level as free units like Kelger or Sonnen, mid more than makes up for it by boasting some of the best extra stat advantages in the game. Furthermore, as an attacker and a jumper, there are many equipment that could potentially benefit her, and with several new changes and additions including the jump variance boost, you're probably better off using her as a jumper. Her wind form ultimately beats out her earth form, but they're two different elements anyways with great base modifiers. Between her earth limit burst and her earth jump, the better attack will depend on her element, especially as mid's grandest earth amp won't last long enough before she lands anyways. Speaking of the equipment though, while there's no problem for the special jump equipment, that's nevertheless only 4 slots filled out. Still, even though she's stuck with one of 2 elements, mid also has some strong effects you might be able to take advantage of. The weapon Impero is the obvious, but there's also the oddly rare bird killer, and perhaps more potent, a wind-fueled amplification buff. Given that this stacks with her own wind buff, this allows mid to truly outshine most other damage dealers, and elevate others along with her as well. It's pretty neat, as most elemental amplification field buffers aren't very powerful themselves. And perhaps rather notably, with mid possessing a true brave shift, she's one of the few attackers who can completely nullify attacks of a given element indefinitely. Thanks for watching, and if you liked this video, leave a like and subscribe. Comment below if you summon mid. Overall, she's a pretty good unit, but given that most units are pretty good anyways, I suppose I'll just wait and hope to get her off banner.